Hello everyone. Every page tells a new story. Welcome to the world of endless animation. The movie begins with Storks, whose mission is to deliver small children from Mount Stork to their families everywhere. Despite the difficulty of dealing with children, the Storks delivered them with love and happiness. Junior, who tells that the Storks no longer deliver children but have started delivering products for Corner Store, a huge and organized company that employs a large number of birds. Junior is beloved by all his colleagues, and they are celebrating him because he has reached the millionth order. The pigeon Toady comes to tell him and shows him a picture of his girlfriend, who is a goose. But the employee interrupts their conversation and tells Junior that the manager wants to see him. Indeed, Junior goes to meet the manager named Hunter, who greets him for his dedication at work and tells him that he will promote him to become the manager responsible for the company. Junior is surprised and feels happy. Hunter continues his conversation and tells him that the hardest thing about being a director is dealing with Tulip. He explains that 18 years ago there was a guardian named Jazzbar who loved Tulip and wanted to keep her, but he accidentally broke the capsule containing her address. And because of that, they couldn't find out who Tulip's parents were, so they stopped delivering children and started delivering products instead. They now believe that Tulip has reached the age of 18, so they can let her live with humans. Hunter presents the company's workflow chart and says that any decline in business was due to Tulip and the disaster she causes, and therefore she should be fired from the company. He asks Junior to fire Taub to prove to him that he deserves to be the manager. Junior confirms that he will do it and leaves. Junior goes to Tulip, who is standing on the roof. He tells her that he wants to talk to her, and Tulip likes him because this is the first time he has spoken to her. She says she will fly with her friends to meet him, and Junior takes advantage of the situation and understands that her friends are the chicken, the ostrich, and the quail, and they are birds that cannot fly. Despite that, they activate the jets that Tulip made for them, and the four of them fly together. The chicken endures flying at a very high speed, and Junior feels happy, but he collides with Tulip and her companions. He tries to take control of the situation and help the three birds, and he manages to save them. Tulip catches up with the wings before they fall, but the wings get damaged and a huge fire breaks out, causing great disturbance to everyone around them. Tulip cries and tells Junior that she only intended to help them and asks him what he wants to say to her. Junior tries to explain to her that she is fired, but he can't say it when he learns that today is her birthday. He turns towards Mount Stork and gets an idea, taking her there. He tells her that she has become responsible for receiving the messages. Tulip asks if they have stopped receiving messages, and Junior replies that it will be her new job, asking her never to leave the place. Then he leaves her and departs. Tulip remains sitting at the desk, waiting for any message to arrive, but she feels bored. She starts talking to herself, playing different roles and having fun and joy. A little boy named Nate, who is playing with his toys and imagining he was a secret agent. He feels sad because his parents are always busy on calls with clients in the car, and he feels lonely until he sees two siblings playing together. He asks his parents to bring him a little brother, and he asks how children arrive, so his parents laugh and don't know how to answer him. His father tells him that they don't want any more children. Nate returns home very sad, goes to the basement, and starts searching for old things. By chance, he finds a magazine about storks and reads it. He discovers that if he sends a letter to the storks, they will bring him a little brother. He writes a letter asking them to bring him a little brother and puts it in the mailbox. The worker takes the letter and goes with it to the company, where it is transferred from one place to another until it reaches an area where it is picked up by a swan. The bird takes it to the corner store company, where it arrives at the mail department, which is overseen by Tulip. Tulip takes the message, excited to deliver it. Meanwhile, Junior is with Hunter, who tells him that he has become the manager starting Monday. Suddenly, Tulip's message appears on all the screens in the office, and Junior tries to stop it before Hunter notices. He manages to stop it at the last moment, then quickly goes to Tulip and asks her why she left her room. She says she was doing her job and puts the letter in the tube. Junior tries to catch up with her, but he fails. The baby-making machine starts working, and it seems that no one questions how a baby-making machine exists. Junior strains and tells Tulip that she should have put the message in the box instead of the machine. The message Nate wrote is causing something strange to happen, but they don't know what it is. Junior tries to stop the machine quickly and discovers that the stop button is located between the sharp gears. He tries to use the broom to press it, but he fails. Then he puts his hands between the sharp gears, and despite the pain, he manages to press the button and stop the machine. But his wing breaks, and he can't move it. He and Tulip are shocked when the capsule containing the baby emerges. At that moment, Nate wakes up excitedly and goes to his parents to tell them that the storks will bring him a little brother, Junior, who still can't believe what happened. He and Tulip take the capsule and get into the elevator. By chance, they ride with a pigeon named Toady, who asks them about their opinion on the match that took place yesterday. John and Tulip try to invent stories about the match so that Toady doesn't notice the capsule, and they tell him that the match was beautiful. Then they leave him and quickly exit the elevator. At that moment, Toady remembers that there was no game yesterday, and he becomes suspicious of them. Then, Junior goes with Tulip to the place where she lives, and they think about how to deal with the child. Junior asks Tulip not to open the capsule because children are very delicate and something might happen to them like what happened to Jasper. Junior takes the device that contains the child's address and finds out where he lives, then decides to go deliver him before anyone notices. But unfortunately, he can't fly the capsule because of his broken wing, and he notices a plane hanging from the ceiling, so he takes it and asks Tulip why she made the plane. Tulip replies that she made it for delivering orders. Junior tells her that this is her chance to deliver her first order, so they board the plane. Junior is excited because he will be flying it, but he doesn't know how to pilot it. The plane crashes, and at the last moment, Tulip presses the autopilot button, and the plane flies smoothly. At this time, Nate, who was making a ladder, his father entered and asked him what he was doing. Nate handed him the Storks magazine, and they realized he was preparing the house to welcome the child that the storks would bring. The father was surprised and told him that storks no longer deliver babies. Nate replied that he wasn't obliged to help his father with anything and asked him to go back to finish his work. Nate continued to plead with him with words until his father agreed to help him for just 5 minutes. At the same time, Toady discovered baby powder, so he suspected Junior and Tulip and started flying the drone, tracking their trail. As for Junior and Tulip, they were flying with the capsule that contained the child, and Tulip was asking Junior why he wanted to be a manager. Junior replied that it was a personal matter and refused to tell her the reason. Tulip kept pressing him with her questions until Junior got tired and answered, and took Tulip, who was about to fall off the plane at the last moment. Junior asked her not to ask him that question again. Then suddenly they heard the sound of the baby crying, so Tulip got scared and decided to open the capsule to check on him. But Junior stopped her. Tulip knew that babies cry a little and then fall asleep, but she couldn't stand the babies crying and decided to let the plane crash and go check on him. Junior tried to press the autopilot button but couldn't do it, and the plane crashed next to a waterfall. Fortunately, no one was hurt. They continued to argue among themselves, and they were surprised when the child fell silent. They opened the capsule to check on him, and they were amazed when they saw how cute and beautiful he was. Junior was angry with Tulip because she was the cause of everything that happened. He took the capsule and left her. Tulip felt sad and started crying because she was left alone. She called out to him, but he walked away from her. And while he was walking in the ice storm, he felt something strange, and a pack of wolves appeared, attacking and beating him, causing him to lose consciousness. And when he woke up, he found himself and Tulip tied by their legs, and the wolves came with the child and placed them on the ground. The leader began to argue with his assistant over who would take the child, but as soon as the child started acting kindly, the wolves were touched by him and loved him. They played with him happily and decided to respect the pack. Junior and Tulip continued their fight, but they didn't forget the child. When Tulip hit Junior, the child started laughing. The wolves became happy as they watched it. Then Tulip had an idea and asked the wolves to untie him so they could hit each other more and make the child laugh more. The wolf was convinced by her words and let him go. Tulip continued to hit Junior to distract the wolves, then struck the wolf leader and took the child with her and ran quickly with Junior. The wolves started chasing them, and they crossed to the other side and cut the bridge. They continued to mock them, so the wolf leader asked his followers to become a bridge. Indeed, the wolves began to unite and form a bridge, while Junior and Tulip were running to escape from them. They ran across the bridge and used the wood in the lake to escape, but the wolves challenged them again and built an advanced boat to chase them. In the end, Junior and Tulip fell from the waterfall, but the wolves jumped into the water to become divers and chased after them. Junior and Tulip got out of the water with the baby, and they quickly ran towards the plane. Tulip asked Junior to get on the plane and told him that she had fixed it. Junior ran quickly, boarded the plane, and placed the capsule inside it, but Tulip fell into an ice hole and couldn't get out, and wolves approached her. Junior saw what had happened to her and was hesitant to abandon her, but he went to save her at the last moment. They returned to the plane, and Tulip took it upon herself to tell him that she couldn't fly it, and the plane began to transform into a boat. As for the wolves, the plane had stopped flying. Junior and Tulip quickly jumped and ran to escape. Then Jasper, who had been watching the situation, came. At the same time, Nate and his father had made a mess of the house while playing, and when the mother entered, she yelled at them and asked why they had done that. Nate replied that he was preparing the house for the baby that the storks would bring. The mother thought they had a lot of work ahead of them, but the father said it was the best time he had ever spent in his life and asked her to join them. Even though the mother was sure that the storks wouldn't come, she decided to help them. Let's return to Tulip and Junior, who were by the river, where Tulip thanked Junior for not abandoning her and coming back to save her. Suddenly, the child started crying, so Junior kept singing to him and playing with him until the child began to laugh, which touched him and made him more attached to the child. They got off the boat, and I told Junior that they would stay here today. Toady the pigeon, who was following Junior and Tulip's tracks, and asked the animals about them. At night, Junior and Tulip were sitting by the river, and the child was playing with Junior. At that moment, Tulip asks Junior why he damaged the vehicle, and he avoids answering. And when they discovered that they would be moving in the morning to deliver the child, Tulip Jr. told him that she was not a boy but a girl, and she insisted that they must take her to her family no matter what. Then she told Junior that she had spent 2 years building the plane that was destroyed, and explained that she hadn't made it to transport orders as she had said, but was actually trying to find her family. She explained that the capsule destroyed by Jasper had retained part of it, and she hoped that it would help her find her family's location. Junior was moved by what she said because he saw how the plane sacrificed itself to deliver the child to her family, and he assured her that he would help find her home. At night, when they were holding the baby, they felt fear from the pigeon that was watching them from a distance. Then Junior returned to the company and went to Hunter to find out what had happened. Hunter thanked Junior and told him that he would be the manager instead of him. As for Toady, he was very happy about it. Meanwhile, Hunter Jr. told them that they had lured him and that he would turn into a child. Junior woke up the next day feeling exhausted because he hadn't slept well, but they continued on their way. All the time, they tried to feed the baby, but she refused to eat. At one moment, Junior played with the little girl and sang to her, and when the opportunity arose, the little girl tried to eat but couldn't do it. After several attempts, Junior made a small toy for the child, and Tulip was able to feed her. Nate, who was being helped by his parents in making the things he needed for their home and changing its appearance in preparation for the arrival of the new baby. At the same time, Toady and the manager managed to change the address of the house where Junior was supposed to deliver the baby. Junior carried a GPS device and headed with Tulip to continue their journey. At some point, they registered their names to board the ship that would take them to the country where the child's family lives. Suddenly, the girl started crying, her voice audible to the guards, and despite Tulip's attempts to calm her down, she couldn't stop her. And when Junior held the child, she quieted in his embrace, causing the guard to move away from them. They continued playing with the child until the ship moved away from the port, then they ran quickly to try to catch up with it. But the wolves suddenly appeared and started chasing them, and after a battle with them, they managed to take the child and escape. But the leader of the wolves slowed down so the girl wouldn't get hurt, and when he looked at her, he found she had disappeared. Then the girl was in the possession of Junior and Tulip, who were fleeing with her, and they entered the warehouse. Then, Junior hit himself against the glass and didn't know why, until he discovered that Tulip was moving strangely and realized it was because of the glass in front of them, as birds cannot see glass. He quickly closed the door so the wolves wouldn't enter, and Tulip told him the path he should take. Junior continued to follow her instructions until he panicked when the wolves began to destroy the door. He ran quickly and managed to pass through the glass. He arrived at Tulip, but unfortunately the wolves had surrounded them from all sides and demanded that they hand over the child. At that moment, Jasper appeared and took them away, asking them to board the ship. But the wolves were sad about the girl. Junior and Tulip were tired of Jasper, who had started threatening them. Tulip responded with anger because she had become an orphan because of his actions. Jasper apologized to her and told her that he loved her and that he had been trying his whole life to gather the missing pieces of the GPS device to help her find her parents. He showed her that he had collected all the pieces except for one, which was in her possession. Tulip managed to add the final piece to the device, making it finally work. Junior felt sad because Tulip was going to her family, but she insisted on going with Junior to drop off the baby first. Junior refused, justifying that he should have kicked her out. Tulip was saddened by that, but Junior assured her that he wanted her to give herself the chance to go to her family first. In the end, Tulip said goodbye to the little girl and gave her the toy, and Jasper took her away. Tulip arrived with Jasper at her parents' house, and she hesitated to press the doorbell. Jasper encouraged her to do it, telling her that she had waited for this moment for a long time and that her parents would love her. But Tulip was still thinking about Junior and the child, and she decided to go back to them. At the same time, Jasper arrived at the little girl's house, rang the doorbell, and waited. At that moment, there was fog in the industrial area, and when they found out they had been fired from the company, Toady came out and told them he was the one who changed the address. Then a group of storks arrived, took the baby from them, and the penguins started tying Junior to the chair. The manager told him that the girl would live with the penguins, and when she grew up, they would bring her back to the human world. Junior understood that this was to maintain the secrecy of the child repatriation process, and that if anyone knew they were repatriating children, their company would collapse. Junior was left in the chair while the penguins took the baby away. At that time, Nate went to his parents' house to explain to them that they had received a notice regarding strange activities in the house, and he told them that they need to remove the strange things because they pose a danger to them. Nate explained that all of this was aimed at enabling the birds to bring the little child to them. At that time, Tulip arrived at Junior's place, and they reconciled, and he was tied up. She learned from him that Hunter had taken the child to the company. Then Tulip comes up with an idea and requests something from the company, then returns. The order arrives again, and she and Junior reach the company. At this time, they are amazed when they find out that today is the corner store party, which is held once a year and attended by all the birds. By chance, they see the penguins carrying the child in the elevator, heading to the plane, and they manage to disguise themselves in a cardboard box shaped like a ball and walk with it without anyone suspecting them. At that time, the penguins were preparing the plane to transport the child, and they calmed down until the child fell asleep. Suddenly, Junior arrives and asks them to give him the baby. The penguins tell him that she is sleeping, and they start to argue without making any noise. Junior uses a fork to throw it at one of the penguins. The other penguins start to attack, and by chance Junior and Tulip find a box full of bells, and they throw them all into the air. The penguins flee, and Junior and Tulip, along with the little girl, sneak among the birds and head towards the hen, who gives them a single breath. As usual, they continue to argue about who will get that breath. And because of their noise, the baby wakes up and screams, attracting everyone's attention. At that moment, Hunter sees the box and knows that Junior and Tulip are with the child. Then the chase begins, and they enter Mount Stork, where the baby machine is located. The birds manage to surround Junior and Tulip from all sides, and Hunter comes and demands that they hand over the child. Tulip threatens that she might put another answer in the machine if he doesn't stay away from them. At that moment, Hunter tells Junior to hand over the child and he will forgive him for everything and let him pass. But Junior hands the baby to Tulip and takes the tube connected to the answer box. He reaches the child production machine in the office with great force, and it starts pulling the old answers from the box. Everyone is amazed when they see that the machine is very large and oddly shaped, and their astonishment grows when the machine starts producing children. The child moves along a specific path, and they watch the machine produce many children. And when Buddy tries to intervene, the machine collides with the control panel and places the child in a capsule. The birds think of the penguin plane, and because of what happened at the control panel, the machine starts producing children faster, and unfortunately, they will fall. Junior asks all the birds to start rescuing them before they fall. Suddenly, Hunter arrives controlling a giant machine and starts destroying the place. Before he does that, the girl presses the button that controls the machine and causes a sneeze. Junior and Tulip continue to play with the control panel until they manage to get Hunter and his machine out of the factory. Collie cuts the wires securing the corner store company. The company shifts from its place and is about to fall, and Hunter tries to get out but can't. The little bird comes with a very large group of its friends, and they try to bring down the machine. Some of them grab a golf club and destroy the part holding the company, causing the company to hang in the air, detach from Mount Storks, and fall along with Hunter's machine. However, Hunter operates the machine, requests a hook, and pulls the rock that Junior and Tulip were standing on. But Junior manages to fly with Tulip's help, and they return to the factory, embracing each other happily. At that moment, Junior realizes that his wings have healed, and he calls out to them when he sees a very large number of children. All the birds are satisfied, and they know that he wanted to be the manager so they could deliver the children again. He thinks that this was their primary mission, and they must get all these children back to their families. Everyone gets excited and uses the bags to put the children in, along with GPS devices because there are no capsules. They all jump, leave the factory, and start delivering the children all over the world. People are amazed when they see a very large number of storks flying while carrying children. As soon as Nate sees the storks delivering the babies, he feels happy and turns on the lights. Indeed, Junior and his companions see the lights and go home. He gives them the baby, and Nate, his father, and mother are very happy, and they hug the baby joyfully. Junior and Tulip hug them, and they leave. Then Tulip goes to her parents' house, and Junior, Jasper, and all the birds are with her. They know they have become her family, and she rings the bell. Her parents open the door, everyone is amazed, and they hug her and also hug Junior. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the fun. Get ready to relive your favorite cartoons and discover new ones with us.